Welcome to this week's Battle of the Ports as we take a look at 1990's Tynesoft developed Beverly Hills Cop game that's based upon the movie of the same name. As was often the case with computer games back then, Beverly Hills Cop contains various gameplay styles. In most cases these are mostly always terrible, but how about in this game? Well, we have a side-scrolling section, a driving section, an overhead shooter section, and a first-person shooter section. I'm not sure what the main target platform was, but I'm guessing it was the Amiga, so we'll start off with that version. Okay, first stage, the side-scrolling section. I do give credit for the parallax scrolling, but the actual stage is not fun. Axel's movement is far too slow and stiff. Controls are unresponsive in that typical computer game way. It's as if the animation takes priority over actual gameplay. A nice effort, but not much fun. Next up is the driving stage. I do like how this is 3D based. The idea in this stage is to chase down the truck and arrest the bad guys. Sadly, the controls again are a mess. The car controls like shit. Driving at speed makes the handling too loose, and driving slowly makes it completely unresponsive. Not fun at all. Next we have the overhead section, and for some god unknown reason, they've made this mouse controlled, kinda like cannon fodder. Why the hell did they do that? Why not just make it a normal overhead shooting section? Surely that would have worked much better than this. Finally, the FPS 3D section, which again suffers from very odd controls. It is smooth, mind you. Overall, Beverly Hills Cop on the Amiga is typical of the day. Mediocre licensed crap. At least the opening rendition of Harold Faltermeyer's Axel F theme is good. Next up is the Atari ST release, which is basically exactly the same as the Amiga, apart from the main title theme being far weaker. We get the same performance, same controls, and well, same experience. There really isn't that much difference between this and the Amiga version. MS-DOS is up next, and this is a whole different game and a whole lot worse. First off, the audio is horrendous. There's no option for any sound card, so you're left with the PC speaker audio. The game doesn't run well on modern PCs, so please do excuse the juddery scrolling on this first stage. Talking of which, it's odd how on this version of the game, Axel doesn't have any weapon. Instead you have to kick your way through the enemy in a vain attempt, as you can never tell if you're actually hitting the enemy or not. The driving section looks like my first play school outrun, or something. A laughable mess. Then the overhead stage is so shit You can't even see enemy projectiles. Is this due to the game not running properly on a modern PC, or is it meant to be like that? Either way, the gameplay is terrible. Finally, the FPS section. This is the only part of the game that seems to run fine, but again, it has issues. The main one being the fact that it's difficult to know if the drones are in the same room as you or the next room over. Talking of drones, why is Axel shooting drones? I don't recall that in the movie. Next we have the Commodore 64 version, which has 5 stages and all are bloody awful. The side-scrolling stage is just like the PC version. Poor unresponsive controls that give no indication as to if you're even harming the enemy. Also, the collision detection is a joke. Just look at this. I'm miles away from the blast zone, yet I'm still killed. The car section is played from an overhead viewpoint and is yet again another case of very poor collision detection. Many a time the cars are nowhere near you, yet you'll explode. Also, why can Axel drive through road barriers but explodes when he hits a cardboard box? Thankfully the overhead section actually plays normally, but again there's a problem. Stiff controls and one-hit deaths. Not a fun time. Then we have the SPS section, which is painfully slow. Although I do like the sections that have bad guys in the rooms and you have to shoot them down. Now you may remember that I mentioned at the beginning of this C64 section that this version had 5 stages. Well, the extra stage is at the very beginning of the game as you stalk the bad guy in your car in order to find out where he's going. This section also has odd controls in where you need to press fire and a direction in order to turn. And this is more like it. The ZX Spectrum version is based more upon the Amiga and ST versions than the PC, unlike the C64. Axel actually has his gun in the first stage, but why is he swamped by so many enemies? The driving sections are pretty poor, but at least they're in 3D. The overhead section is functional, and finally the FPS section is pretty twitchy, but at least there are actual enemies within the corridors, unlike the C64 version. Overall, this is still a terrible game, but better than Commodore's 8-bit version. Next we have the Amstrad CPC version, which doesn't seem to work with joystick controls. I've never had that experience with a CPC game before, so I'm having to play with the keyboard controls, which is less than ideal. As for the game, well, it's just a ZX Spectrum game, but now with nicer colour graphics. Nothing else to say really. And finishing off we have the BBC Microport, which again is bloody awful. The game actually starts with the driving section, complete with a massive Beverly Hills Cop logo plastered across the screen. Why on earth is that there? Following the unplayable driving section, we have the warehouse side-scrolling section. I couldn't complete the stage since the game must be played via keyboard controls, which are a mess. Let's just say I couldn't be bothered to even try. And let's take a look at all those versions of Beverly Hills Cop running side by side. Which one is the worst?